Pulsar just released the X2H in their ES variant, or the esports version. And what makes it the esports version is you don't need any software. As you can see on the back of the box, everything can be controlled right on the mouse. And yeah, many users are very familiar with the Pulsar ES version since we recently talked about the X-Lite V3 ES, but what makes the X2H ES a plus or a minus compared to the original X2H? And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you here today are the pros and the cons of the X2H ES version. I want to cover some of the core basics of the X2H, and the only place we can start is with shape. What you're looking at here is my new infrared camera connected to my iPhone, which is going to give us some heat signatures as far as gripping the mouse. I mean, we can look at numbers and dimensions all day long and talk about that, but as far as when you get the mouse in the hand, how does it feel? Of course, this is going to differ from hand shape, grip style, and whatnot. When I grip the X2H, I'm pretty much like this, kind of clawing it. I do let it come back into my palm, but if I need to dance it around and flick it, I can do that with the X2H. And that's what really separates the X2H from other mice. It's really nice. Some may be thinking ZA. I'll show you some comparisons here in a second. But again, I want to keep my hand in my grip position here a little while. Then I'll pull it underneath the infrared camera and you'll see those grip positions. But again, just looking at it like this, you can see my pinkies over here, my fingers, and then right over there, my thumb sits pretty much right by the buttons. And then again, it's kind of hitting me in the back there, but not in the middle. So now I'm going to bring it underneath the camera right here and let go of it. And you can see once we load up, you'll see those grip positions right back here on the back. And then again, my fingers right up there towards the top. I don't know if it's going to pick up the side profile. You can see a little bit there. But again, our biggest point is right there. You can see right on that rear hump. It's getting on both ends, but not so much right back there in the middle. Now that grip that we just looked at on the infrared camera is what I like to call my holding shot. I'm going to lock it in, right? If I'm sniping or if I want to really hold that position, I can pull it back. But again, like I stated with the X2H, what I really love about it is even though it having a hump in the back, I can still dance around with it a whole lot. I can still flick and dip. The hump's not really bothering me. Say if I was using a bigger ergo mouse where that hump is definitely prominent in the back of your palm, but it's also not too small because I can still lock it in. It's just very versatile. So I hope these new heat signature tests I've been doing in my mouse reviews and will continue doing on forward in every single mouse review are helpful to you guys. I want to implement something a little bit different into my mouse reviews moving on forward rather than the basic talking points or what's on the back of the box. And hopefully this is helping you out. And if it is, please consider subscribing. Now we're going to go ahead and test a build of the X2H ES and compare it up to the regular ES as well. Instead of me just sitting here squeezing it, telling you how good they're built, I'm going to break out the force meter as I do in all my mouse videos now as well. And we're going to test it with how many pounds of pressure we can push against them. So coming over here to the ES version, I can bring it all the way up to 10 pounds, no flexing. That is on both sides right here. Even on the top, there's no flexing whatsoever. Now when you come to the bottom as well, right when you come up here to probably around 9 pounds, you do see it start to move. But again, if you're pressing the bottom of your mouse to 9 pounds, you're using your mouse completely wrong. Coming over here to the regular version, again, you can press it all the way up there and no flex whatsoever. Now on the bottom of this one, with it being open shell, when you get up to right around 5 pounds, you notice the bottom flexing a little bit there. But again, if you're pressing the bottom of your mouse, you're using it completely wrong. Both of these mice are built incredibly solid. But I do want to mention some comparisons in case you're curious about this shape here. And I absolutely love this shape. Some people have mentioned, hey, it's too small for me or something. It's really not. It's a phenomenal shape getting in your hand, very versatile. I think a lot of people would be thinking it's a Zowie ZA clone. It's really not. That hump sits significantly lower. Maybe Aerox 3, this hump is more towards the middle rather than in the back right there. Another one you might be thinking of is the Rocat Burst Pro Air. To the Cooler Master, this is the MM712 here. That's where that hump sits. So if you use the MM712, you're going to feel right at home with this hump. Now, the Pulsar is longer. This is the size 2, but again, this one is shorter. And when you look at that difference here, you do feel it slightly in the hand. Let me get them lined up. It is mild, but you do feel the X2H size 2 being a little bit longer. But as far as hump to hump, these feel very similar. And as far as in the Pulsar lineup, whenever you bring the X2 V2 in the X-Lite V3, this sits right in between. This is pretty much no hump. This is big hump. And then this one's right in the middle. That's what it is. A very universal shape that I think a lot of people will get down with. Kind of just like the Logitech G Pro shape. So now let's talk about some differences from the regular X2H and then the X2H ES. ES. Top down, obviously you can see some differences, being the ES has a red line on the back, and then the aluminum scroll wheel. And then when you flip them over is the biggest difference. The ES tends to be an esports version. You don't need any software because everything can be controlled right on the screen. Over here on the regular version, as you can see, you got the holes cut out on the bottom. You see inside it, hence it being a little bit lighter. Now, another big difference here is the ES version comes with the 4K polling dongle. The regular version, you have to buy the 4K polling dongle separately, which is another 20 bucks. So in the long run, it's really the ES is going to be $10 more. Is that justifiable? That's what we're trying to figure out here. So with the ES version, obviously having more packed into it, a bigger battery, you got that screen, you got that aluminum scroll wheel. Like I stated, it is going to weigh more. And when you put it on a scale, we're getting 63.8 grams. Taking that one off, putting a regular X2H on, we're getting 54.3. And yeah, just like I stated with the X-Lite V3, you can clearly tell that weight difference. But no, it's not just number to number as far as that weight difference that you feel. You all know I'm not a weight junkie. The weight of this is perfectly fine. What it is the balance of the weight over here. On the ES, you clear as day feel that bigger battery in that screen in the back. Again, just like the X-Lite V3. And hand to hand, whenever you grip it right here where it's balanced, right in line with the button, lifting this one up, perfectly balanced, like a gem. Coming over here to the ES, there is no denying that weight is prominent in the back. And yes, whenever you're gaming, you feel it. This one, you feel like you're more flicking it. You can fingertip style game with it, right? Coming over to this one, you feel your thumb pushing it and giving a little bit more push, a little more oomph on that back end to really maneuver it around quickly. And that's the biggest thing that's going to separate these. Before the tech or the shiny scroll wheel, it's the balance of that weight. So what you're looking at here is my ambient room noise level. And I want to give you a sound test of both of these switches because they sound significantly different. Starting off with the ES. So you can clear as day hear the difference. Now, these are both using the exact same switches. Of course, we got different scroll wheel, which that's where that sound is coming from, but the 1 and 2 sound significantly different on both of them. They both feel the exact same, and I'm not sure if the sound is coming from, again, maybe that scroll wheel, or I've used my original X2H a whole lot more than this ES one. As far as the side buttons, they are both incredibly crispy. The one thing I will tell you is talking about that aluminum scroll wheel, you all know it wasn't a thing I really liked. Again, I love the aesthetics and the look of it and everything, but down here south, it gets pretty spicy. My sweaty finger would roll off the edge. But other than that, my X-Lite V3, this scroll wheel was just too snappy. I could be scrolling, which I do to cycle my weapons, and I'd get accidental presses. Coming over here to the X2H, I gotta press this one down a good amount, bit more. It feels just like the plastic one over here on the rubber, when this one was almost unusable because it was just too snappy for me. So I'm not sure if they're doing something different between the X-Lite and then the X2H, or if it's, again, just batch to batch, but this scroll wheel feels significantly better than the aluminum one on my X-Lite V3. So after taking a look over the X2H ES, I come out with the same conclusion as I did on the X-Lite V3. I would stick with the original one. Number one, you're saving $10 even if you get the 4K dongle, but at the end of the day, it just feels truly natural in the hand. The tech and the innovation on this is really cool. You plug this in, you download the software, you set your settings, you delete it, and you're done. I honestly won't be using this screen after I set it to what I want. So I know by now I'm probably sounding like a Pulsar sellout. I absolutely love what they're doing, but right here with the ES line feels slightly gimmicky and not really needed. Stick with the original version and I think you'll be much more happy. So I hope my new format of mouse reviews has been able to help you, give you a deeper insight. Again, you all know shape is king, and that truly lives close to me. Shape is number one, and then of course build, right? So I hope this new format is able to help you, and if it was, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.